I'm excited to share this program with you today because conscious breathing techniques can impact your life in a lot of different ways. They can improve your health, your ability to heal, your mental, physical, and creative performance, and your emotional well-being. In the next hour, we're going to spend time talking about each of those subjects. I'll show you some exercises that you can use to help in each of those areas. And at the end, I'm going to show you how you can integrate these techniques into your personal and professional lives. Now, way back in 1995, back when my hair was still red, I hired a local jazz singer to give me voice lessons. Music is one of my passions, and I wanted to learn how to sing better. Now, if you ever take voice lessons, your voice teacher may give you the same advice that mine gave to me. She said, "Al, don't quit your day job." No, really, she was very supportive, just as long as I kept writing the checks. But she told me the most important skill for being a great singer is breath control. If you can control your breath, you can control your voice and be a great singer. And I thought, that's great. All I need to do is learn how to breathe. How hard could that be? I've been doing it my whole life. Well, as you might imagine, it's just a little bit more complicated than that. But several weeks later, something very interesting happened. I was talking to a gentleman named Gulmas Khan, who's the squash pro at River Place Athletic Club, where I teach karate. Gulmas is a Pakistani whose family has dominated international squash competition for more than 3 generations, starting with his grandfather. Gulmas had been encouraging me to take up squash, and we were talking about it one day, and he said, "Al, the most important skill for being a great squash player is breath control. If you can control your breath, you can control the game and win." And I thought, that's really weird. Here we have 2 people in seemingly completely unrelated disciplines, both telling me the exact same thing about the importance of the breath in nearly the exact same words. And suddenly it clicked for me. The light went off in my head, and I realized that nearly all of the disciplines that I was involved with, martial arts, performing arts, athletics, yoga, qigong, and meditation, all of them relied fundamentally on mastering the breath. And I became more and more interested in this and started digging deeper and deeper. And in the course of writing the book Perfect Breathing with my good friend Don Campbell, I had the opportunity to interview people all over the world in all walks of life, in all kinds of different disciplines, all of them saying the exact same thing about the breath, that it enabled them to elicit more from their minds and their bodies, and accomplish some pretty amazing things along the way. Now, the remarkable thing about the breath is it's the common denominator in everything that we do. It touches every dimension of our life, the physical, the emotional, mental, and even spiritual dimensions. That's why astronauts, fighter pilots, mountain climbers, Olympic athletes, performing artists of all kinds, healers and doctors all over the world, they all use this quiet power to be better at what they do. And you can too. In the next hour, I'm going to show you how you can take more control over your health, your performance, and your emotions by using conscious breathing techniques. Before we go any further, let's take a couple of deep breaths together. So go ahead and start with an exhale. Inhale slowly and deeply. Imagine you're breathing all the way down into the seat of your chair. Hold it for just a moment and exhale. And one more time. Inhale all the way down into the seat of your chair. Imagine you're filling yourself up like a glass of water, all the way to the top. Hold it for just a moment and exhale. Good. You perform that simple act of breathing nearly 24,000 times every single day. It's the most important thing that you do. Now, I say that not because if you didn't breathe, you would, of course, die. That's something that we'd, of course, like to avoid. But because everything else that you do depends on it. Every thought that passes through your mind, every word that falls from your lips, every muscle you move, every beat of your heart, is powered by the energy in your breath. It's the engine that drives our body. Every cell, every system depends on it. Now, you probably grew up thinking, as I did, that most of our energy comes from the food that we eat. Well, it turns out that 90% of the energy that our bodies use comes directly from our breath. Only 10% comes from the food that we eat. And if you think about it, it makes sense. We can survive for days or even weeks without eating, while the number of minutes we can survive without our breath can be counted on one hand. It's the most important thing that you do. But it's something that we rarely, if ever, think about. And why should we? It's automatic. It takes care of itself. Nature clearly did not intend for us to have to think about every single breath that we take. And that's a good thing. You think you're busy now, just imagine if you had to remember to breathe 1,000 times every hour. You wouldn't get a lot else done. We don't have to think about our breathing, but we can consciously use it with intention. And when we consciously and intentionally use our breath, we can dramatically impact our health, our ability to heal, and our mental and physical performance. Now imagine for a moment that you could improve your breathing by just a little bit. Let's say 5%. I chose 5% because a 5% improvement in your breathing is approximately equal to the amount of energy that your body uses in an hour. To put it another way, improve your breathing by 5%, and you're taking in an extra hour's worth of energy every day that your body can use however it's needed. It might be the extra energy that you need for that exercise class or a workout. It might be the extra energy that you need to extinguish a sniffle before it becomes a cold. It might be the extra energy that you need to deal with a difficult coworker or family member. It might be the extra energy that you need to move one step closer to your goals. As it turns out, recent studies have shown that 5% improvement, that extra hour's worth of energy, is well within everybody's reach. Everybody here can get that extra hour's worth of energy, and in just a moment I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I've been using these techniques for a number of years, and they've had a very significant impact on my health, my performance, and my emotional well-being. But in the interest of full disclosure, I feel I need to be honest with you and tell you that even though I've been using these techniques for a number of years now, I still can't sing. But I haven't given up yet. So let's go ahead and practice this first technique. It's called foundation breathing.